Sir, I have given way several times to my honorable friends opposite, and I trust they will not interrupt me further, or it would be impossible for me to conclude my remarks. My honorable friend is entirely misunderstanding the purport of my remarks. The House knows perfectly well the circumstances in which the conclusions of the second interim report of the General Purposes Subcommittee have come before us and the circumstances in which I placed my own figures before the House. I explained them fully in replying on the debate on the second reading of the Finance Bill. I think the House, if they followed my remarks, would have been convinced that the margin, the difference between what we have proposed and what might be the result of the further recommendations of the General Purposes Subcommittee, was not sufficient to justify us in counting on being able to make any substantial alteration in our general financing plan. That is the sum and substance of what I have to say on this question of retrenchment, and having emphasized that point again, I will leave the question of retrenchment till further opportunities for discussion arise. Then, sir, there is a second point that has been made, that the whole of the economic position is now so uncertain that we are not justified in putting a financial plan before the House. The uncertainty has been pictured by different speakers in different colors. Some have anticipated further worsening, others have anticipated improvements. Now it must be obvious to everybody that on all occasions, when budget estimates are presented, there is a certain amount of uncertainty. One has to look forward for 12 months. No finance member ever knows that the monsoon is going to be or how conditions are going to go in the whole world. There is always a great element of uncertainty, and I maintain that that particular form of uncertainty is not greatly increased by the fact of your taking your view forward for 18 months instead of for 12 months. But at present, we are working under a quite abnormal uncertainty, something quite different to that which we usually have to face. We must all accept that fact. I make no secret of it that it is possible that all our estimates may prove very wide of the mark, but I shall be in just the same position next March, and we shall gain nothing at all by waiting. However optimistic one may be about the future, if one really studies the factors which are underlying the present situation, no one can hope that by next March we should be able to say that all these factors of uncertainty have disappeared. The whole world is now once more on sure ground, and we can go forward with confidence and make our plans with complete certainty as to how things are likely to turn out. That factor of uncertainty is one which we cannot possibly estimate. I might perhaps refer very shortly to one other reason which was given for not approaching the House now, although it was only mentioned by one speaker, so that I can imagine that that reason does not carry very much weight with the House. It was said that the British government, speaking through the mouth of the Prime Minister, had promised the Government of India financial assistance of some kind if it should be needed. It was asked, with the promise behind you, why need you go forward with these drastic proposals for taxation? Now, sir, the speaker who made that suggestion went on to suggest that that promise was not a reality. I want to say as distinctly as I can that that promise is a reality, but let us all be very clear in our minds as to how advantage should be taken of it. I do not imagine there is a single man in this house who would like the position that India should go and ask for help from another government because India has not had the courage to face her own troubles by her own measures, and I, for one, believe that we would be totally unjustified in asking the British government for help unless we had taken every possible step to put our own house in order. Sir, that consideration to which I am now referring is not an argument for not proceeding with our taxation proposals, but it is the strongest possible argument for going ahead. Now, sir, I come to the central point of this motion. I have been asked by my friend to go in detail through the legal side of the case, but, sir, on that point, I have no case to meet. No argument has been put up, no case has been argued from the other side to show that there is anything illegal or unconstitutional in what we propose. On that point, my honorable colleague, the leader of the House, gave the House certain information and quoted some passages from the report of the Statutory Commission, which were statements of fact as regards the constitutional position. I do not think that I need go into that question in detail again. It is sufficient for me to inform the House that we have examined carefully the legal position and we find that there is no shadow of a case for those who argue that what we are doing is unconstitutional.